Hey kiddies, welcome back. It's your dearly departed host, Uncle Newton. Now, there's a winter storm rolling in outside, and I gotta get going so I can catch up on my Black Friday deals. But I still got a fright film for you this week. One from the 1940s, Universal Studios, in fact, and it's got a very appropriate title. Black Friday opens with Boris Karloff facing execution on death row before switching into flashback mode to tell the rest of the story. Karloff plays Dr. Ernest Sovak, a surgeon whose best friend, Professor Kingsley, is run down by gangsters caught in the middle of a car chase. In order to save his life, Karloff implants part of one of the gangsters' brains into Kingsley's head. While his friend does recover, he quickly transforms into a strange Jekyll Hyde type character, switching from kind, meek, little Professor Kingsley to the violent, ego-tripping gangster, Red Cannon.
Well, here we are.
Throwing the majority of his humanity out the window in the name of science and greed, Dr. Sovak goes full-on mad scientist, hypnotizing his friend to bring out the Cannon personality.
From now on, you do exactly as I say.
He hopes the criminal will lead him to a treasure trove of mobster loot, but little does he know that there are more con men on the trail, including one played by... Wait, what the fuck? Bela Lugosi? Jesus Christ, let me see this for a second. Yeah, seriously, look at the poster. Look at the opening credits. Lugosi is second billed above the goddamn title, and he's barely even in the movie. Not only that, but he's seriously out of place playing a gangster.
That will be his payoff. He gets Red's money for killing all of us. Keep him covered.
This is like his cameo in The Body Snatcher. And look at this, the movie was even put out on DVD as part of the Bela Lugosi collection. Seriously? People are gonna sit around for half the movie wondering where the fuck is Bela? But no, seriously, what the hell happened here? Well, the truth of the matter is, nobody really knows. This is one situation where the backstory is just bizarre. Apparently, when the script was first submitted, Lugosi was supposed to play Sovak, and Karloff was supposed to play Kingsley. Honestly, that makes sense. I mean, look at the characters' names. Also, Lugosi had a history of playing hypnotic characters, and Karloff was best known outside the horror genre for his criminal roles. It's very similar to The Raven, where Lugosi plays a surgeon who manipulates Karloff, a brutish murderer on the run from police. So what happened with Black Friday? Well, apparently when he got the script, Karloff decided he wanted to play Sovak, and Karloff, being the megastar that he was, got what he wanted. But this still doesn't explain why Lugosi ended up as a stooge in a minor role. Honestly, if you ask me, I think it's because Universal knew they could take advantage of him. By the 1940s, Lugosi's star had fallen so far that most of his work came from Poverty Row films. They were made cheap, outside the studio system, and they headlined actors who usually only ever played supporting roles in studio movies. Consequently, whenever Lugosi made a movie for a major company like Universal now, they basically gave him a walk-on, something where they could pay him for one day's work and have an extra name to stick on the poster. Even weirder is that Lugosi was the subject of a hypnosis publicity stunt that ended up being used in the film's trailer.
Horror-struck, they witnessed the hypnotized actor's mortal agony as Lugosi actually experienced the terror of suffocating to death in a closet.
Let me out, please!
Now, setting all this nonsense aside, the best part of the movie is actually Stanley Ridges, the character actor that got to take over the part of the professor when Karloff opted out. He fucking crushes it. Honestly, the switch between Kingsley and Cannon is seamless. I often find myself forgetting it isn't two different actors whenever I watch the movie.
And I'm quite sure you'll all be glad to hear that tomorrow we're going to have a quiz on the past 2 weeks' work.
I'll kill him!
Shut up.
I don't like gappy taxi drivers.
What do you know about the money?
Fire.
You know too much, Doc. I used to think that a long period of convalescence would be like an ocean voyage. That I'd have a chance to read all the books I want to that I haven't time to ordinarily. But nothing seems to interest me.
On another side note, this was the start of writer Kurt Siodmak's strange obsession with brain swapping, something that he brought to nearly every one of the Frankenstein sequels he wrote. So, the final verdict. Black Friday is definitely a stinker in the Universal horror catalog. But it is worth it for Stanley Ridge's performance, and honestly, for a 70-minute feature, you could do a lot worse. It still has that Universal feel, just the kind of thing you need to keep you warm on a cold winter night. Until next time, this has been your Uncle Newton, kiddies. See ya!
Keep him covered.